Trey Lance, right? Trey Lance. Trey flipping Lance. He has been traded to the Dallas Cowboys, ladies and gentlemen. So the former number 3 overall pick by the San Francisco 49ers was traded to Dallas for a 4th round pick, I think for next year, 2024. So now this is, the talk of it was Trey able to get his starting gig back? As the preseason went on, we kind of saw, that he wasn't going to be able to get it back from Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy did an excellent job in filling in after him and Jimmy Garoppolo went down, after Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo went down. So it was going to be hard just to, unseat Brock Purdy at this point. But he lost the backup job to Sam Darnold, at which it's been reported that Trey had a talk with Kyle Shanahan, head coach of the San Francisco 49ers, and requested a trade. So I'm a little shocked that the 49ers did actually trade him. I thought they would try and keep him for another year. They did want to keep him, and they could have kept him. They could have just said, you know what, Trey? Yeah, that's fine, but no, we're not going to do it. Especially, here's the thing, especially what happened last year. That's how Brock ended up playing, because everybody got hurt. And then Brock gets hurt in the NFC Championship game. And then Josh Johnson, he ended up getting hurt. And then Christian McCaffrey is the quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. So just that alone, I thought that they would keep, Trey. But then also you have this thing that people are pointing out, deservedly so, that they traded 3 first-round picks to move up to get Trey Lance. And now you've moved on from him, and they were never going to get what they traded up for unless he turned into Pat Mahomes, which they wouldn't have traded him if he turned into Pat Mahomes. So that's neither here nor there. They weren't going to, get it back. I just think him, them trading him and not keeping him around. Me, myself, I would have said, Trey, I'm sorry. You gotta stay, right? But it makes me think, like, they were probably going to trade him next year. And if they were going to trade him next year, if he sits there the whole time, and in fact, he does be the 3rd quarterback throughout the entire season, yeah, they wouldn't have received a 4th round pick. They were surprised to get a 4th round pick at this point, because it was reported that the Bills, my Lions, and the Ravens were all interested in Trey Lance. And it was reported that out there, they were looking at like a 6th round pick, maybe that turned into a 5th, and then the Dallas Cowboys step in and they take Trey Lance with a 4th round pick, or they trade for Trey Lance with a 4th round pick. So that opens up the question, for Cowboy fans, and somebody won't be there in Dallas, because there's Cooper Rush, Will Greer, now Trey Lance, and then of course Dak. Dak's not going anywhere. Dak's going to get an extension. We know Jerry Jones and the rest of the Cowboys organization love Dak, so nothing is going to happen with Dak. But what is available for Trey, right? Now, in practice, he's going to get, some reps where he wouldn't get them at all being the 3rd quarterback. And I think this is just maybe a short game. Say, I go to Dallas. Hey, they big up me. If I keep the backup position, there's still going to be somebody that's going to be interested in me. A la right now. He still had someone interested in him. Even though, hey, he only played, 8 games? I think 6 or 8 games due to injuries and, a rookie season and everything else that plays part. Jimmy Garoppolo was, starting, for that team. I got to give credit. I'm going to give credit where credit is due, right? I don't always like doing this, but, I do another show on Sundays at 9 a.m., Wrap It Up Sports as well, panel with Jay Fish, right? Fish. He was talking about, trading him to get something for him, now instead of later. And he was right. That's what they did. Get something now. But then he also was talking about how, another team will be like, hey, you know what? I can not necessarily fix Trey Lance. There's nothing fixed with Trey Lance, but I could work with Trey Lance. I like that talent. Let me see what I can do with it. So it does seem like maybe that's what they're trying to do. And if there's anybody that can hype up a quarterback, it's going to be the Dallas Cowboys. They hype him up. Hey, if he does have to step in, and if he does well and back up Dak Prescott, then now we're right back talking about, oh, trade this, trade that. But he still gotta prove it. So him being traded, did come across as a shocker to me, but I guess what were they going to do? They were, so I the only other thing I think, who's the general manager? Why John Lynch? John Lynch, said that they, as a team, we have to accept that or own that, and he's absolutely right that they do. When you make those type of moves and it doesn't work out, and that quarterback that was supposed to be like what amazing what a year does. That was your starting quarterback, saying he was better than Jimmy Garoppolo and better than anybody else on that team, even though Brock Purdy was on that team. Now saying, hey, we're moving on from it. And I think the one thing, well, not one thing, multiple things though, but the thing that helps ease this in San Francisco, where 49er fans are going to be upset, but that it's just not, them going down to headquarters, is the success that they've had, right? And what John Lynch was able to put together, because they got Bosa, they got Debo, they made the trade for McCaffrey, they got Brock Purdy. So it's a lot of good pieces that's there in San Francisco. So 49er fans are going to be mad, but it's more like, you know what? All right, I'm going to let this, I ain't going to forget, but I'm going to let this slide a little bit, because they're still in contention to go to the Super Bowl. So at the end of the day, mission accomplished for the San Francisco 49ers. They got a 4th round pick for a guy that was going to be the 3rd option on a team. So that's amazing in itself. Indeed. All right, Lopan. So I wish Trey well. I hope everything works out for everybody. Trey Lance somewhere else, and then he proves why he should have been a number 3 overall pick.